Do you ever feel like you are carrying a giant boulder on your back filled with all the things you need to remember for your spouse, for yourself, for your kids, appointments, homework, projects, activities, dentist appointments, doctor appointments, keeping up with their clothing and making sure they have the right sizes, back to school shopping, Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, like it never ever ends until now. I have a good solution for you guys. Today I'm going to share with you the 3 things I use to keep track of my day, week, month, and all my work plans. Keep track of all my thoughts that are floating around in my head, and also to keep my family informed so we all know what's going on at a glance. If you want to take back your life, get that boulder off your back, get everything on paper so that you're not feeling overwhelmed by everything going on in your life, keep watching this video. Hey guys, Sarah here from Work Life Glue. I love to help other busy moms create balance that sticks through videos, through my podcast, and also through my subscription box. I am the mom to 3 little girls, ages 6, 4, and 1. I homeschool, I run an online business. My husband has a crazy busy schedule, and somehow we keep it all together. And a huge reason why I keep all of that together without feeling super overwhelmed all the time is through the process I'm going to be talking about today. Now, what works for me may not work for you, but I want to share with you what I do in hopes that it can inspire you in some way to have a system for planning, for getting all your thoughts down on paper, on your phone, wherever it may be, and to have a solution to keep your family informed. So let's jump right in. I'm going to take you guys on a deeper look of all of these things, but I'm just going to give you a quick overview. The very first thing I use for my daily and weekly plans is my actual planner. I use a Filofax. This is a Duck Egg Malden Filofax. It's the A5 size and it's great for planning. I love this system because I customize the pages to work for me, but you can easily use a happy planner, a notebook, a plum paper planner, a digital planner on your iPad, lists on your phone, your calendar on your phone, the simplified planner. Anything will work as long as it has like the daily, weekly spread and the monthly spread. So I use this for my daily, weekly, monthly plans, what I'm actually doing, and the nitty-gritty of my day, my schedule, as well as my content creation for my business. So I plan out what I'm going to be posting and what I'm going to be doing each week in my day-to-day planner. The second thing I use is this dotted notebook. It's an 8.5 by 11. And I use this to organize all my thoughts. I'm calling it a bullet journal because I have it set up bullet journal style, but I'm not using it to actually plan my days and weeks. And I'll take you guys along to see this, but it's basically all the thoughts floating around in my brain that need to be organized and put down somewhere, I put in this notebook. And then the third thing I use to help keep myself and my family all in the know of what's going on that's super easy to glance at is this decal calendar. This is actually for sale in my shop. I will talk about it in more detail and how we use it, but it's a decal you can put anywhere. It's dry erase. I use wet erase markers from Erin Condren on it so it doesn't wipe off. And this is where we just write the big things happening each day for each member of our family so we can easily glance at it. It's right where we look at everything every day. It's kind of in our drop zone in our kitchen to keep my family in the know. So let's look at each in more detail. Okay, let's look inside my daily, weekly, monthly planning system. This is my Filofax. It's beautiful. Definitely don't need something this fancy. Inside, I keep stickers over here that I sometimes use. These were actually from my subscription box for the January box. I have a few left in my shop if you are interested. These are custom made by Amy of Simply Beautiful Plans for my box, so I love those. I also have some other ones she made for me. On the front here, I just keep a list, just a post-it sticky note where I keep track of anything we need to buy. It's very messy, but I just quickly write something down if I think of it. This is just the best method I've come up with because trying to use the Echo or something like that, it ends up not hearing me or I'm not near it at the time when I think of something, so I just jot it down here. And when I go to plan my meals and plan out what we need to buy at Aldi and Target each week or Amazon, I'll just write it down here and then stick a new sheet on every week. I also have my habit tracker here. I keep this in this notebook just because I have this with me all the time and it's really easy to just mark down what I've done. And this I have as a free template you can get on Canva. I will link below for you guys. Then my very first section is my daily section. As you can see, I just made these dividers in Planify Pro, which is what I use to set this up, but you can definitely make your own. Just cut out scrapbook paper and then laminate them, but I wanted it to match, so it's just really cute. And I have a page a day spread. It just works really well for me. And what I did is I used Planify Pro to actually make the templates, but you can also download templates that you buy on Etsy or make your own in PicMonkey or Canva if you know how, or Photoshop. And then I went into PicMonkey and I added text. You can also do that in Planify Pro. I just found it easier to do it this way, so I would have it for each page. And then I just wrote down things that I do every Monday, every Tuesday, so that I wouldn't have to write them down every single week. So like all our homeschooling things we do, trips, field trips, errands, things I need to do for work. Our bath nights are on here, Girl Scouts, anything like that that happens on a certain day, I just put it on that day so I don't have to write it down. I just have to focus on the things that differ from day to day. So I have a page per day. As you can see, I have a little spot for exercise. And then my last page, because there's only 7 days in the week, and so it's an 8-page layout for, you know, it to work out so that it's all on the correct side. I have this little brain dump where every week I will just write down anything that I need to do in the future coming up. So anything home related, work life glue related for my work, any homeschool activities, and anything other than that, I will just jot down so that I will know to do these things the next week. So I use that when I go to plan out the next week. So that's how I do my daily planning. My next section is my monthly planning. So I just will write out, you know, this is a cleaner month because it's not for a few months. So I just put birthdays, anniversaries, anything like that. But just to kind of see what it looks like when I actually get to the month, it looks like this. Not neat, but it works for me because I also use this when I go to plan every week. This is just anything day specific I will write down here, and then when it comes time to plan for the week, I will use those when I plan out each day. Next, I have my video and podcast section, and this is where I actually plan out my content. So in the past, I have used sticky notes so that I can move stuff around. Right now, I am currently not. I'm just writing it out. But this is where, for my particular business, I plan out my content. So I plan out all my Instagram posts, my podcast episodes, my videos, and then I also send out a bi-weekly newsletter. So I have that planned here just so I can get a sense for the week, what I need to do. It's really nice to have a plan, and it's really easy to see it all and what's coming up in this monthly spread. And then as you will notice, I have these other tabs back here. I tried using this last year and I just found, I don't know why, but I don't love flipping around in my Filofax for extra things. So I ended up not really using these things. And I just found there were so many things I needed to make a list of, and I didn't want to have to keep adding paper or creating different templates. I just found it kind of hard to use. I know some people use a Filofax for everything. I just found it was kind of hard for me to do, and I like a bigger piece of paper when I'm planning out my thoughts. So that's where the next thing came into play, which is my bullet journal. So I have done bullet journals in the past. I just learned that for me, they don't work out very well for my actual day-to-day planning, just because I didn't like having to create a template every day, and it was hard to do longer range planning. So I love my Filofax for that. But for this is where I am corralling all of my thoughts, because there are so many thoughts and things I want to reference and things I need to write down to remember. And this is my system for that. So I got the actual inspiration and this particular notebook idea from Shelly from Let's Live and Learn on Instagram. I will link her account. She has great printables on her blog and loves to use post-it notes, and I just love her posts. They're very inspirational. So I might add a cover to make it prettier later, but I love that I can, even through the cover, just see where I need to go. So I just set up an index. I have a personal section, a homeschool section, a work section, and an other section. So the personal is just anything related to me, my family, random personal things. Homeschool is obviously for my homeschool. I homeschool my girls. Work is for my business, anything I want to keep track of for that. And then other are just like random things that I want to make lists of, to take notes on, as you will see in a second, that just happen random day to day. So I don't have lists all over, because I tend to be a huge list maker and I end up having lists all over the place. So now I can keep them in one spot. So I just went through and numbered all the pages so that I can make an index, and I went through and assigned each thing, but I still have lots of pages open for each section just to keep it organized. And I just added some really simple sticky tabs so I can jump to wherever I need to go. So some things I keep in here are our favorite breakfasts, our favorite lunches, our favorite dinners, and foods to try. So this is great for when I'm meal planning. I do have this in my meal planner, but I don't have my meal planner with me all day. This will stay with me all day, or at least in this, you know, around me in the house, so I can quick just run and add something. Like if I think of a dinner that we love, or a breakfast or a lunch, I can write it down. Or if I see a food I want to try on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, I can write it down here. And then I can pull this out when I go to meal plan. I have a books to read section. I need to go through our whole house and my Audible account and everything and write down all the books that I want to read. But for now, you know, I'll get to that later. And then I want to keep track of all the books and audiobooks I actually read in 2022. Here I'm keeping track of all of the words and signs my 1-year-old can say. I just think that's so fun. They learn so many words so fast, so I want to keep track. Every few months I'll update it so that I can see what she knows. It's so cute. And then here I have an exercise progress of like workout regimens I've completed. So I'm working on the 100 Morning Meltdown by Jericho on Beachbody on Demand, so I can check off each time I do one of those workouts. I had my 22 in 2022 in my Filofax, but I decided to move it here just because I think it's more fun. And I plan to actually keep this, whereas I don't really keep any of my pages in my planners because they're strictly functional. They're not beautiful. They're not really easy to remember things because they're just so full. So this will be a really nice thing to actually keep and look back on. So I moved it all here. I just used sticky notes, and basically, if you don't know, I have a whole podcast episode / video about the 22 in 2022, but you just come up with 22 different things you want to do in the year. I'm doing this instead of like traditional goal planning. I just find it more fun and an easy way to add in a lot of smaller things that are still important to you. So you can go listen to that episode if you want to know more. I have a to buy list for any like bigger things we want to buy. To do at home, so any home projects we want to eventually do, I'm going to keep track of here. A vacation bucket list. This is like long-term places in the United States we want to go, international vacations. Here I included a few pages for actual vacation plans for vacations we want to do this year. Here I have a bunch of places we want to visit this year, just like little day trips and things like that, so I can keep track of that. Here I have a miscellaneous to-do list just for anything random that I need to do long term. And then the rest is blank for that section. For my homeschool section, I have a whole system on how I plan, which is very simple. I have a whole video on that of my daily, weekly planning and how I basically plan out the whole month really simply in like an hour. And so I'm not doing that kind of planning in here, but this is more just keeping track of things and books and things like that and planning out next year. So here I have an ongoing list of any read alouds we want to do in the next few years. Here I want to keep track of all the read alouds we actually read in 2022, not picture books, obviously that would take up this whole notebook, but for chapter books. So that'll be fun to actually look back on what we read. Here I have our fall curriculum plan, so I'm planning out what I'm going to do with my 2 older daughters, the prices and things like that so that I know. And here are just going to be where I dump random homeschool ideas. If I see ideas on Instagram or wherever, I can write them down here. And then here I have extracurricular ideas for long term. And then the rest here is blank. For my business, I'm going to keep track of video ideas and any series ideas I want to do. I also have a section for podcast episode ideas. I'm going to try to remember to write out all the 2022 videos I did. I never really look back on my progress, and I think that would be really fun. I can even keep track of views and things like that, so that by the end of the year I should have this whole thing full. Same with podcast episodes. And then here I'm going to keep track of my subscription box, how many subscribers I had, how many gift boxes I gave away, giveaways, things like that, and then the actual items and the prices and all of that kind of thing, so I can look back on that. And then I can keep track of my income, any subscription box theme and product ideas, my master to-do list, like longer term things, not my like weekly, monthly, have a good weekly, monthly flow. But any extra things I need to do, I want to take screenshots of people's comments and print them out eventually. I mean, hopefully there will be so many I won't be able to fill up this thing, but every month, you know, as people get their boxes and send me really nice notes, I want to keep them here for if I'm ever feeling kind of down, I can look here to remember who I'm serving and who I'm helping. Here I'm keeping track of Instagram ideas. So in the other section, I know it looks kind of weird. I just have post-its here to block out any personal information. But this is how I'm going to use this. Just a bunch of random extra sheets that I can use for any random notes that I want to reference later. So for example, my 6-year-old is going to be turning 7 next month. So I was taking notes on ideas for her birthday and things we need to do. And so I ended up figuring out where it's going to be, what time. I wrote that down, taking notes, things we need to do, things we need to buy, theme ideas, who's invited, who's coming, anything like that. And that way over the next month and a half I can refer back to it so I know what I need to do, and all my thoughts are on this piece of paper so they don't have to stay in my head. So that is how I'm using that. And lastly is this decal that we use to keep track of everything for our family. So as I said, it is dry erase, so you can use wet erase on it as well, and if you rub it, it won't come off, but if you get it wet, it will, or if you push really hard. And basically how I use this is I keep all of the people in my family on the side as well as work for my husband. And then there's each day of the week, and it's color coded, which I love. So you can even color code the writing if you really wanted to. So for us, I keep track of my husband's work schedule on the top. If my husband is going to see friends or has anything, meetings or anything he needs to do, I will write them in this line for that day. I do the same thing for myself. So if I have a work day, if I have any pressing, like time sensitive things, I will write them down. And then for our 3 daughters, we write down, like if they're going to be at my parents' house or a babysitter is coming, I write down Awana or Girl Scouts or anything like that, appointments, practices, all of those things get written down. And then any like whole family things, we just write down here so we know the whole family is doing it, so we don't have to like write it up here and then put a big line and block everything else. So that's a really great way to use this. And it's great because it's a decal, so you can stick it just about anywhere. You could stick it on a cabinet, on a door, on the inside of a cabinet door, on your fridge, on a mirror, on a whiteboard, on the wall, and it will last a really long time, and it keeps your whole family in the know. I really hope this video was helpful in motivating you and inspiring you to get your thoughts down on paper or on your phone. If you have a different system that works really well for you, I would love to know it in the comments. I'm always looking for new ideas, and obviously all of us have different lives and different things work for different people, so I would love if you guys would leave that in the comments, and then we can read through and get even more ideas. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to have you as part of our Glue Stick family, so please subscribe. And if you want more accountability, a deeper, enriching community, and even some products to go along with it to help you create mail and set sticks in your life, I would love to have you as part of my subscription box community, which is separate from the box. So if you just want the community, you can subscribe to that. But also if you subscribe for the box and get the products every month, you also have access to that community. So I will have information on that below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.